This video segment covers the basic calculations involving nominal annual rates, periodic interest rates, and effective annual rates. These go by the acronyms NARs, PIRs, and EARs. A nominal rate is one used to state annual rates. Say 12%, it means you earn approximately 12%, but it's not exact, as we will see in a second. It cannot be used to calculate interest until converted into a periodic interest rate, which is simply done. A periodic interest rate is used to calculate the interest for a particular quarter, month, week, day, or other period length. The frequency of adding interest to the balance is called compounding, and it has an effect on the interest earned over the entire year. The resulting annual rate from compounding the interest is called the effective annual rate. It's the effect of compounding interest. Let's go over how one can go from one type of rate to another. Supposedly we had a nominal rate of 12%. To get to a periodic interest rate, a PIR, you simply divide by the compounding frequency. Here it's monthly, and we want to get to a periodic monthly rate, so we divide by 12 months a year, or 12% divided by 12 is 1%. In this particular video segment, both will be the same, monthly and monthly. In the next one we look where one could be monthly and one quarterly, or other alternatives. With this situation, we're going to go through 12 months of the year and see what the balance is at the end. We start with $100 for an example. The interest rate is 1%, so 1% of $100 at the end of month 1 pays $1 of interest. We add that at the end of January, we have $101 in the account. At the end of month 2, we take 1% of this, and that's $1.01. So at the end of month 2, we have $102.01. And we continue that on for all 12 months until in the 12th month, we take 1% of the balance at the start of the year 12, which is the same as the end of year 11, and it comes out to $1.12. We add that, and we get $112.68. That's more than if we took 12% of this, we'd end up with $112, so there's 68 cents difference. Financial people won't put up with those differences, and that's why they do these calculations we're going to look at. So what is the EAR then? Is this 12.68%. 12.68% is what we have earned in this $100 to get to $112. This is the EAR. Before we go into the calculations, let's just contrast this with quarterly. If again we start with an NAR of 12%, only this time it is compounded quarterly, and we want the period interest rate for a quarter. There's 4 quarters in the year, so we divide 12% by 4 and get 3%. The end of the year, month 1, we take 3% of $100 and get $3, so the balance is $103. Into year 2, we take 3% of that, which is $3.09. We get a balance of $106.09. And finally, at the end of month 4, we have $112.55. That is a 12.55% increase over the original balance. So the EAR for a 12% nominal rate compounded quarterly, and that's important, the compounding rate, is 12.55%. So what we want to do is be able to go from NARs to PIRs to EARs among these in various ways. So let's look at how you would do that. Let's start with a PIR, a periodic interest rate monthly, of 1%. To get to the nominal rate monthly, which is nominal annual rate, we multiply by 12. So it's very simple to go from PIRs to NARs and multiply by the number of compounding periods per year. 12%. To get to the EAR, instead of the tabulation, we can use a function called the effect function. It's the effect of compounding. We start with the NAR. It's not the PAR as the argument, PIR as the argument. It's the NAR, the effective rate or nominal rate, not effective rate, nominal rate, C20, and for 12 compounding periods per year, and it will result in 12.68%, which is what we surmised up here. Quarterly is much the same. If we start with a 3% PIR, that's a 12% NAR quarterly. EAR, we use the effect function. We put in the nominal rate, 12%. That's 4 quarters per year, and we get 12.55%, much the way we did up here. Let's go the other direction. Let's say we have an EAR and we want to get to a nominal rate or a periodic interest rate. Let's just use the 12.68% we just calculated. Say, what is the nominal rate of that? Well, we use the nominal function. C23 is a 12.68%, and there's 12 months per year, and we want the monthly one, so we use 12. And to get to the PAR, we just divide by 12. PIR, I keep saying PAR. Quarterly is much the same. We'll start with the 12.55%. The nominal function, G21, the 12.55, and then we use 4 for the compounded periods per year. And always remember that's per year. If we look at a 5-year project, you don't use 5, you still, and it's compounded quarterly, and you're, for the proposal, you still use 4 quarters per year. And then we divide by 4, which we didn't here. This is a mistake. That should be C23 over 4. And the example here should be 4. It happens when you copy over without checking. And we get 3%. 12 divided by 4 is 3%. Now, you may say that, is this all that important? 12.68%, 12.55%. That's only 13 cents difference a year when we looked at these two in dollars and cents, or 0.13%, not much. But consider this, if you had 100,000 in that account to start with, and instead of being for 1 year or 12 months, it was 30 years, which would be 360 months, makes a big difference. If it was monthly compounding, here's the 1% periodic rate in the future value function, 360 months, 30 times 12, and the no payment, and so we have 100,000 that we've deposited in the account originally, and it comes out to be worth $3,594,964 and some cents. If we do it quarterly, here we use 3% as our periodic quarterly rate. 30 times 4, 120 quarters, in the same 100,000, it comes out to 3,471,098. The difference is 123,865. That's nothing, as they say, to shake a stick at. So that small difference between monthly compounding and quarterly compounding resulted over 30 years of $123,000. You think of this as a mortgage, which is often much higher than 100,000, and which is typically 30 years. It can make a big difference. Almost all mortgages are monthly, so you typically don't have to worry about this, but you have to make sure of that. So that summarizes the basic calculations. In review, to go from a PAR to a NAR, you multiply by the number of compounding periods per year. Here it was 12, here it was 4. You can go the other way by dividing by 12 or by 4. And to get to the EAR, you have to have the nominal rate, and you use the effect function. In both cases with either 4 quarters, and if you had weeks, you'd have 52. If you compounded weekly, it'd be 52. Semi-annually, it would be 2, and so forth. That ends this video.